Thank you for joining me today. So this is another episode of our Evolution Exchange Gaming podcast. We've got Rob and Gemma. Feel free to do your introductions here, and then I'll kind of fill out a bit of an agenda today.
Okay, great. Shall I go?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm Gemma Brown. I am one of the co-CEOs at Dovetail Games.
And I am Rob O'Farrell. I'm the other co-CEO at Dovetail Games.
Nice. Very good, very good. But no, in today's podcast, we're just going to cover some real basics. So people can understand your leadership styles, like how you got into where you are, what brought you into the games industry, which we all love so much. Dovetail Games itself, the studio, or, insights, maybe some top secret information. No, just kidding. Tell me we can't do that. And then just advice to those looking into the industry, maybe looking to join a studio even like yourselves. And then just some really random facts. Does that sound okay?
Cool.
That sounds good.
Perfect. So we'll start with some real basics. What drew you to the games industry? Was that yourself, Rob?
Well, I've been lucky enough. I've been in the industry for 35 plus years now. So, God, if I go back to my memory, I was a scaffolder. I was, I wasn't very good actually. I was scared of heights even, and being a scaffolder scared of heights is not a good thing. And when I fell when I was 80 foot up, and I managed to catch myself after 15 foot, I decided to get out of being a scaffolder. And fortunately, my flatmate at the time got me a job testing lemmings on the Game Gear. And it went on ever since then, actually. And I've just grown doing it, loved it. I wasn't very technical, but I got to love games and how to make games.
Nice, love that. And what about yourself?
For me, it was a really happy coincidence. My background's actually HR and talent management. I was managing a warehouse for cheese and charcuterie in previous world, and a recruiter phoned me up and said, "Oh, there's a software trains company in Chatham that needs some help with HR," and I was ready for my next adventure, and didn't know it was games until it was there. But do I wish now that I knew about the games industry as a career? Yes. I would probably had some very different directions, but love the industry.
I'm sure there's a lot of, well, we've done topics on it all the time about like people understanding avenues into the games industry. Like it's just not spoke about when you're in like schools and universities. Maybe more so universities, but primary school. Like I remember doing art courses and never once was games mentioned as a potential.
I think it's the breadth that you can have for a career as well. See, there's art and there's tech. On the publishing side, with biz dev, through licensing and everything else, there's such a breadth of experience and opportunity. It's good.
We've got like 30 plus different roles at Dovetail. Yeah, from publishing through to studio to QA. Like that. There are so many different roles in the industry now, and for us, that it is a good career. And I think that's the big difference from when I first started. It was just like a bunch of mates making games. Now it's a proper career. I think that people should evolve into that.
I guess that kind of leads on to the next bit, which is what made you realise this was something you wanted long term. Like, when was it like, oh, you know what, games? Yeah, I'll stay in this. This is a career path for me.
Well, I lucky enough, I was involved producing Mortal Kombat, and I'll never forget when my mum and dad first saw the poster for the Mortal Kombat, the game, Mega Drive, and they went, "Oh, that's a proper job." And I think then it started to become, and then I was lucky enough to work at EA and on Football Manager actually. But then Harry Potter came along, and that really defined. I think actually this is a proper job because you actually got to deliver proper stuff.
Proper job.
Yes.
Playing games and getting paid. That's what it is, right?
Yeah,
that's
it's fun.
That's all it is.
Yeah, you'll paint a few things, have a few code in, and mitigate your happy days. No issues at all.
I think for me it was the combination of creativity and operational. I tend to steer towards more operational, but I have a real creative side, and so the industry ticks that for me. And there's real diversity of thought throughout as well, which is really appealing.
Nice. So then, what kind of led into the path that you're in now? Like, how did you climb the ranks to get to co-founder?
Co-CEO.
Co-CEO, sorry.
We could be co-founder one day for something. It was a lot of hard work and luck. I think we've both been here 13 years, 12 years. Rob.
Part of the furniture.
Part of the furniture. Yeah, we grew up. Well, I grew up with it and took every opportunity by both hands. And when I joined, we were small. And so there was opportunities for me to really get involved. And so, I know most things about the company over time, and it was just a very natural step for us to take. We've been part of the leadership team for so long that it was the natural evolution for us.
Yeah, and when our ex-CEO stepped down and moved on to other things, actually, this is a company we want to take forward. And yeah, there's conversation about whether someone else should come in or not, but actually, we just showed it that me and Gemma can make this work. So unfortunately, we've worked together so well over the last 12, 13 years, and we've had our ups and downs, there's no doubt. And we challenge each other, but actually, we only ever challenge each other in a room. When we go outside that room, we are one. I think that, and it's our company, and it's what we've driven, and the culture and the games, and actually the people, which is the most important thing, is what we both believe in. And that's where we see Dovetail going forward for years to come.
Yeah, when I came into the office, for those watching, I mentioned it to them that they were sat together, and it's very rare. I say very rare. It's not often that you not necessarily feel like both CEOs would always be right next to each other and probably get sick of each other. I imagine you probably still get sick of each other sometimes, but it looked like you were both happy enough sat there.
Yeah.
Was it like a decision that you made at the time that you wanted to do it together? Was it just a good timing thing?
It was. We did it together or not at all for both of us.
Yeah, and it wasn't we had to talk to pull up. It wasn't like it was a given.
Yeah.
We had to show what we're going to do to make it work, and can we do it? But the good thing is we complement each other so well. Gemma on the publisher side, me on the dev side, we cover each other. And actually what we've come to realize in this role, it's really stressful being a CEO. But the good thing is we help each other get through that stress, because it can be, I now understand what it means when someone says it's a lonely job being a CEO.
Yeah.
And so, because you are driving the company forward, you have got people, you want to make sure they're successful. People's futures are in your hands. But we actually work together on that quite a lot. And bounce off each other. I think that's where it helps us quite a lot being a co-CEO.
And it's very open plan, the office as well. I'm sure we'll go into this later on, but you're not all behind walls. Like, obviously sometimes studios would have, like, you've got one office and you've got one office, and unless there's a meeting booked or you just happen to be with one another, but you're just all sat together, really.
It doesn't work well for us like that. It never has done, has it? We know, obviously, we've had, when everybody was in the office, and we had two sides. We had the publishing, dev management one side, but it was always open plan. We want to be accessible, and we want to hear what's going on. I don't want to be locked in an office. I hate working from home as it is. So
individuals in an office can't make a great game.
Yeah.
You have to work together. Otherwise, the game's never going to be good. And then we can't sell it, and then we can't get the vision of it. And I think that's where it's been really important for us to make sure we always work together.
Nice. And what was, you've gone through quite a long journey even before you became co-CEOs. What was one of the toughest lessons you've probably learned in, like, a leadership position? One of your hardest points, or something that you'd at least learned from?
Mine's always people-led. It's one of the drivers for being with people. In my previous role, we went through a number of, it was 2008, number of redundancies, number of restructures, and I always felt really fortunate to be sat on the side of the room and to take people through a real challenging period of their life. When you're restructuring, you understand the business rationale, but there's people the other side that have families and everything else. And I think with everything I've done, I've always wanted to treat people fairly, treat people how I would want to be treated. There's always a business. We've got to run a business. We're not in a charity. We've got to run a business. There's always got to be business rationale, but we can treat people like people. Yeah, and that's the key for me.
Someone told me something years ago, 30 years ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. They never wanted to be a senior leader because you had to deal with their mortgages. If you're responsible for paying someone's mortgage, in essence, you're responsible, or making sure they can pay the rent, they can feed the families. That has stuck with me, because actually my decisions and our decisions can impact their lives. And then the right decisions can impact a great experience of the game, because we want to make sure, and I always think players are going to spend their hard-earned money on our game. Let's make that the best experience they could possibly have. We are responsible for that. And it really comes down to the decisions and the thought process, and sometimes the vision that you get across to make sure the teams believe in it.
And so that would be your kind of lesson you learned, really. It's just the stress and the responsibility that you have.
I think it's less about stress. It is that responsibility, the impact you can have. And once someone said to me, I've met someone in the corridor once, and came out with a game idea. 2 weeks later, they're putting that into the game. I didn't tell them to do that, but because who you are, people listen to what you say. It's impactful what Gemma says. It's impactful what I say. So you have to sometimes also think about the responsibility you're having whilst what you're saying.
So you can quote Uncle Ben if it helps.
I'm not going to quote.
Like we're trying to beat around the Spider-Man phrase here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the rice, Uncle Ben.
Wait. Sorry, is it the wrong Uncle Ben? Is it Uncle Ben?
Yeah, it's right. It's Uncle Ben, the rice man.
The Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
What's his name?
No, he is the young. Yeah, Ben is the young in Spider-Man. Yes.
That's the way great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, that is a good quote.
Cameraman was like,
but I went to Uncle Ben's rice as well, thinking,
where's he going with
Uncle Ben's rice?
No, great power comes great responsibility.
But it's a cheesy saying.
Yeah.
But it's so true.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to learn that lesson because it means you have to rein back what you're thinking and what you're saying, and also how impactful how we give the feedback to our teams, how we play the software. You know, over the years, I've learned to adapt how you give feedback, because you don't realise when you come off a Teams call or you come out of a build review, people really take that personally.
There was when we were in the old building, we had a group of pensions before auto enrolment. So men in suits come in. And the rumor was that we were closing because we all went in, had a really boring 2-hour pension meeting about auto enrolment.
Important,
yes, very important. Everyone should have a pension. We all come out, faces down, and the rumour within half an hour was that we were closing. And to me, that was a massive lesson in just how your presence, how you present yourself. Everybody's looking at you. We can come out of a meeting, so you have that impact.
We are very open as a company. Yeah, yes, of course, we're a listed company. There's certain things we can't say, but we have a company meeting every week. Yeah, and we always present stuff.
I imagine you can still go, we're doing well, we're struggling right now. You know, sales are up, sales are down. I don't know what you can say, but obviously that definitely helps.
There are things you can say and how you give it feedback. Yes, when you're a listed company, you've got to be careful of that. But also, people take that in such a way. And you know, when you say something, it can go out in so many different directions. And 10 people may hear the one sentence totally different. And then we have to manage that and work through that. Because it's making sure their lives when people believe in what they're doing, they make great games. They sell great games. And I think that's the other important thing we believe in.
Yeah, I mean, most of the games I've really enjoyed over the past 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. I'm not going to name, no need. But like, you can tell that the teams have come from teams of passion and not teams of just do this, do that.
Yep.
Right. Makes a difference massively.
It does. And when we're making a train game, we do have a lot of enthusiasts that help make our titles. And sometimes they might go beyond.
Yeah.
So it's getting that balance right to make sure people can play that train.
That's creatives as well, though, right? They'll always want to do more, but sometimes you're like, we do need to get this game out at some point.
Well, or actually, they do need to play it. They need to drive the train. But in actual, we're going through that process at the moment.
Nice. Okay. Very fair. Before we move on to the next kind of segment-ish, just because I want to make sure that we can give you some credibility back with your lack of movie experience. What kind of movies in your favorite franchise? Or just a favorite movie?
Well, I just come back off a Disney cruise this weekend, and we sat at midnight outside on top of the thing watching National Treasure. What a great film! Nicolas Cage in that was really. So I'm a Disney.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. So I'm a Disney man. I'm a Marvel man. Actually,
not Marvel.
No, I'm going to say
you didn't know Uncle Ben.
I know, but I didn't think about that.
Wow.
It was a letdown.
It was. But I did go to Uncle Ben's rice. I'm sorry.
I did as well.
But so that is a problem there.
Time is it? Is it lunch? What about yourself, Jenna?
So and actually, annoyingly, I didn't get to watch Fantastic Four when it was this weekend. So that's the one I'm looking for.
Got my own thoughts on that, but I'll save them.
Oh, okay. I could tell by the face you don't think it's overly fantastic.
Just some things should be left alone.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about you, Gemma?
My go-to favourite movie is Demolition Man.
Okay.
I
Niche.
love it. Niche. I'd watch it every year.
Well, that's a
my
bizarre
favourite one.
fact that no one ever knows.
Did you not even know?
Demolition Man.
No,
I have
never knew you
mentioned
did
it, but I
that.
have mentioned it before.
I decided probably to ignore that, put that to the back
Probably.
of the mind. And
Do you do that often? Should we take pause here?
no. Sometimes you gotta work with it.
Don't hate on Demolition Man.
Well, my favorite is Avatar. Very cliche. Yeah, it's Avatar, not the animated version, the blue people.
Yeah.
That's the easy way of saying it.
Yeah. Have you done the Disney?
No, I've
done that?
never been to America yet.
Oh,
There's
okay.
only one good blue person, and that's Genie in Aladdin. So that's got to be the better blue person in the Avatar.
So you're an Avatar hater and a fake Marvel fan. Okay.
You're getting so edited out.
No, you're fine. You're completely fine. Okay, then, so let's talk a little bit about, I guess, Dovetail. That'll be beneficial. So, what is Dovetail? Well, what's the identity of Dovetail? You can fight between yourselves if you want to.
You always do it so well, to be fair.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is that? What is Dovetail? We are a train hobby game simulation.
Just trains. Anything else?
We have fishing, we have board games, we have flights, all in our back catalogue. We focus on trains at the moment, mainly PC and console. We had a small experimental piece with Roblox, Train Sim Tycoon, that did quite well. We are on VR, so we have the New York route on the MetaQuest. We've never wanted to go first on any of the new platforms or products, but we'll go where the audience and our players are.
Yeah, we've come from a PC background. I think that was quite a, when being Gemma first joined, we were a PC developer, and actually coming across to console and Unreal, I think was a big challenge for us. And so, because it's a mindset shift, the teams I think have done a great job. This year we've come to realise we are a live service, and Train Sim World 6 coming out soon. We've turned this into such a great offering for our players. And yes, people say, "Oh my God, you make so much DLC." I think we've got 150 bits of DLC for Train Sim World. Yet actually, for me, that means we're offering great experiences for our players across the globe. And I think that's what's important. And I think this summer we've done over 600 submissions into Sony and Microsoft. No one does what Dovetail does. And yes, oh God, you make so much DLC. But it's because we want to offer so many different experiences to different people.
We don't expect everyone to buy every bit of DLC.
No, and also, what's the difference between DLC and a live service battle pass every month? And
I think that's something we've been sort of contending with ourselves
It's like
in terms of it's been our business model
Yeah.
all the way through. Core game, DLC, regular releases give plenty of opportunity for enthusiasts to get into their hobby. And it's only been the last sort of 12, 18 months we've gone, this is a live service. We do regular updates to the core. We go back and we fix and we mend and we improve. And that's the live service.
And we bring all that content with us. So when we do a new core, which we're doing this month, actually in September, all that content we've done previously over the last 10 years, we're making sure still works for our players. And people, a lot of the industry don't do that. And yet actually, I think our players really appreciate that. Yes, we don't, all the new features coming on the new core don't work on all that DLC, but at least it works and they get some benefits.
Yeah.
And actually, it takes a hell of a lot from our teams to do it. Yet we know our players appreciate it.
I mean, you don't even have to do it. You could just force the player base to keep moving forward with you, right? Like tech companies do, right? They stop supporting old platforms so that you have to keep buying the new ones constantly. And again, I've never seen anything against DLC games. I love franchises like Borderlands where they'll release it and then they'll release loads of DLC after it. Not loads and loads, but they'll release a fair amount. And to me, it's no different than if it was a free-to-play and they were just making you pay for things anyway.
And in essence, we've created a free-to-play system with our core because now we make sure our players can actually download the training center, the core part of the product for free. So you can still come along your journey without having to purchase the latest version if you don't want to.
And what does it mean to be at Dovetail, right? In terms of like the people here, what is it that you look for? I mean, obviously we've got all these values around us. Is there like a certain feel to the studio? Is there something that you're always striving for in the people that you're kind of building this team with?
I think we don't have as direct impact on the recruitment side
Yeah.
now. So generally, most times we meet people first is when we introduce them at the company meeting.
Once they've gone through the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I
of course.
think, we want a culture where everyone's voice is heard.
Mhm.
You can be yourself, you can be comfortable. You want to push, you want to progress, you want your part within our company to matter. And every single person does matter with what they do, and they have a massive impact. So that's what I look for when people come in.
We are classed as being big, large, but I don't regard ourselves as being that. Everyone that we bring to Dovetail has a major part to play. So you shouldn't get lost in the big cog. So I think we make sure actually we want someone, and literally on day one, we want to make a difference.
You're trying to get away from that AAA mentality, or like people assume where it's like you're a cog in a big machine, right?
No, you come to Dovetail, you make a difference. Day one.
You make a train.
And actually, they may leave 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah.
That's fine as well. Honestly, we've had that, and we do grads. We looked at juniors sometimes, and people leave, and great, they get the better salaries, and but they progress. That's also fine. Interestingly, we're finding now that people are coming back. We're getting a lot of people return to Dovetail because they've realised it's people that make great games.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Gemma's instilled, and we've got, is we make sure we have people that believe in making great games and giving great service. Publishers, our retail team do an amazing job with the amount of content we have to sell. But because that person will make a difference.
No, kind of what you mentioned before, like as you said, like fine to go and explore and grow yourself and find a new role, right? And I imagine if I was working, I guess you don't classify yourselves as the biggest AAA studios in the world, right?
No.
So insert common AAA studio name here, you get offered a role, you'd be like, oh wow, yeah, of course I'll take that. But then, as you said, we've noticed as well on our side that a lot of people that have gone indie, AAA, then go back to indie or go back to AA.
Yeah, for some people it suits.
Yeah.
And, being part of the bigger named companies, it really suits. And I've had many discussions with people over a coffee and stuff of they've got an offer, they really love the culture here, they love everything about, but they want more than what we can give sometimes, and we're honest with that. We can't be everything to everybody, and at some point you have to decide for your career what you want, and we're supportive of that. I think we've got 2 ex-Dovetailers that are now CEOs of companies.
Yeah.
So I think we give a great foundation for people.
Yeah,
We
and
put a lot
they
of
couldn't
effort
become
in training.
CEO here, could they? Unless you.
Unless we're stepping apart, which we're not. But it is about how people can grow, and I think that is really important. And we are very clear on what we are. You talk about we're not going to be AAA. We don't need to be. We don't want to be. Actually, we've got a great player base that actually we want to make sure we keep delivering experience for, as well as going forward. And we've got some great plans, over the next few weeks, months, years that will actually drive the company forward as well.
See, I want to ask numbers now, but I don't want you to take stuff that you can't. I'm not asking like financial numbers, but I know that like train enthusiasts are huge in the UK. Like, what is the player base like for like that kind of game? And is it like a market that's growing? Like, how do you get new players into that?
It's growing. Well, Rob's whole philosophy on accessibility is key for that. So, the only train I can drive is the Bakerloo line because it's really easy. I can't retain any of the info for anything else. And Rob's whole direction at the moment is accessibility, pick up and play. So the train games are really soothing. They're fun. They're really engaging. But the learning curve is like that.
Really?
And so to get
In my
into
head, it's just forwards and backwards.
no.
That's my naive side.
I would encourage everybody to give them a go because there is something really special about the games themselves. But it's very hard at the moment to get through them. Train Sim World has improved. When does this go out?
This podcast?
No, yeah, the podcast.
Oh, I've not a clue yet.
No.
It's got to get edited, and then it could be any time.
If it's after October, then we can. If it's
We
after
can make it after
mid-October.
October.
If it's after mid-October, then we can talk about Metro Rivals, which is our really fun subway arcade game that can train, race, and it's multiplayer, and it's on Unreal 5. Looks really fun. Looks really nice. Plays really fun. That's our new direction, and that is pick up and play. That's even I got it straight away.
Because again, my naive self, when I think like sim games, and full transparency, I'm like a multiplayer comp player. So like I'm playing like shooters and all that stuff. When I think sim games, I'm always thinking like not necessarily the highest of fidelity usually, but then when you think Unreal Engine 5, like you must be doing some things there to make this look.
Even in 4, there are some.
Got it
there are some
I've seen them. It does look good.
Screenshots where I'm like, is that a picture or is that in game?
Yeah, because I think some sim games, like I guess like Microsoft Sim is different now, but even still, like you can tell it's a sim game sometimes, and you're like,
yeah, but Sims overall is stepping up. And I think that's what's really good. You know, there are a number of the Sims out there that they feel real. I think we had an incident a few years ago where working with Amtrak, we had to go and change the way the startup system was for the train because it was so real. They were worried people were going to come and steal the train by playing like that. So we actually had to change things around. And visually, the team are doing an amazing job. And sometimes, especially in Train Sim World 4, or Train Sim World UE4, you're looking and go, is that a train? Is that a photo? Is it a game? So where we're going to go, though, is making sure that I want everyone to be able to play it. And majority of people love a train. Well, there's a steam train, even
I love
a train.
I don't like National Rail trains.
There's still romance on a train, and then just getting on a train, and I want everyone to have that experience and actually pick up and play. And we're great because we are in services like Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, so it opens up to so many people. And actually, there is the ability to make it really, really difficult to play and learn an experience, which we're still going to have.
Yeah.
But I still want people to. I want us four to be able to pick up and play again.
I mean, you've kind of answered the next question there, which is what is the heart of what you want to do? Which is basically that.
But also keeping the heart of the simulation for everything we do as well. That has to be really important. Even with Metro Rivals, that still has to have that immersion of being in New York, that feeling of you in the subway, and there is something really cool about playing that. Whereas we do that with our Train Sim World and potentially other products, it's about that experience and that immersion. You always want people to believe it. That's the heart of simulation for me. Simulation is about you getting immersed into what you're playing.
And who should join Dovetail, or who should want to join Dovetail? You know, let's say someone listening to this now. You know, what kind of person would you be looking at? Just yourself, right? You're not. I know you said you're not part of the hiring process, but like, what would bring someone to Dovetail? You know, I guess sell yourselves really.
Well, so that's a good question.
You don't need to sell yourself.
No, it's a because people look at Dovetail and go, oh, it's a train game.
Yeah.
Well, we are
much
far more than that now.
More than that.
We are leaders in console and what we're doing to Sony and Microsoft. We push Unreal 4, we push Unreal 5. We sell brilliantly. And actually our creative services team, our retail team, our publisher team come up with visions of what this product, and just because it's a train product, doesn't mean you're not going to have fun making games. And I think that brings back to the heart of making sure that we can have fun, making it, selling it, and making our players really enjoy it. We appreciate our players a hell of a lot. I think if you want to make a game that people are going to love playing, Dovetail's the right place.
How do you see the industry evolving right now? Is there anything that you're having to like completely pivot with how it's been going? I know it's a bit of a jump of a question now on the challenges front, but you know, what is next? What do you think is next? That's what you just said you're doing.
The thing is, we have to address AI. And that is, I know of one company that has stood out and gone, we're not touching AI, we're not doing anything with AI. We need to embrace it where it's sensible to embrace, and where it makes our teams' lives easier and more productive. I think that's where we lean into. It makes us faster, more efficient. We should be doing it, but we need to do it sensibly.
Yeah, I think that because AI has been around for years, it's now become the thing that people talk about. A lot more companies come and approach us, and how can we use it, and how we can making it easy for our staff making games, selling games is important, and also how does it help us make a better experience for our players? I think that's always the way that we always look at it, is making sure what we're doing will always create a great experience. And it's interesting, the whole debate about live service.
Yep.
Yeah, where those games are going and how that. Yeah, actually, I think there's a way for us to, and we've been delivering it for the last number of years. Right, how does that evolve for us? I think the quality of the titles, and UE5 is brilliant to enable us to go to a certain level of quality, but you can go too far with that, and then forgetting about the experience the players have got to actually play the game.
And you can trust it too much. I know a lot of studios that are just relying on UE5. They go, oh, but it's got nanite, and that means we can do millions and millions more, and then they go and try and play it, and it's like, oh, it's not performing.
It's using it to integrate into the experience you want your player to have.
Yeah.
And I think that's where sometimes, and we've been fortunate enough with UE4, and then how we're developing UE5 is actually how do we take our expertise and fit that in and create our own versions. We've got our own version of UE4 in essence. And so because we had to, because when UE4 first came out, I was in North Carolina with Epic, and they went for dinner and they laughed at me that we were going to make a train game using their Fortnite engine, in essence, to do this thing that's going to have a train going for miles. They just literally laughed at me.
The sim games usually go through like I feel like when I've played other sim games, it's always been like a proprietary engine or their own thing. Again, this is very naive, or is it very common?
I think previously people used their own engines because it was easier to try. I think UE's developed in a way now that most people can pick it up and play. Even look at EA, right? They've gone away from Frostbite and they're going to Unreal. So it's because it does a lot for you, and it really does, and it should do a lot of takes away the grunt work in essence. Because to get an engine right that you're developing yourself can cost you a fortune.
I think that's where the AI comes in as well, because like people go like, there's a massive debate. And by the way, I've got a topic at the minute currently on live service that I'm filming a podcast, and a podcast on AI, because they're both very topical. Yeah, and it still amazes me that the AI topic is definitely frowned upon for obvious reasons. Even from us, it affects like the jobs that we could recruit for, etc. Right, to a degree. But then equally, Unreal Engine does have like AI systems and tools that make your job easier, that does things for you, makes it. But no one really sees it as AI. They just kind of go, "Oh, it's a feature of Unreal," but it really is.
And AI has been there for quite a long time. It's just now it's come to the forefront.
Yes, it's very accessible,
especially at the moment where the industry's going through a really tough period. So people are sometimes looking at quite it must be AI.
Yeah,
well, it's not totally that. Some of it may be. But actually, it's just that's coming to the fore, and the industry going for. We like to blame things sometimes.
Oh, of course.
So, and I think that doesn't help.
I think it depends how you embrace it. I get from an artistic point of view the years you've put into honing your craft, and you're a master, and so I really tried to look at both sides of the argument. From a business point of view, it makes sense to invest in AI. I don't want to do it at the expense of people.
No.
And when you look at auto generation of speed tree and procedural generation of product, if we can get more routes out faster, our players are going to have more variety to play. That's better for us. But it has to be very sensible.
AI alone cannot make a great experience.
No.
And you're always going to need people to help craft things, and I think that's important. Outsourcing, when that first started 20 years ago, 20, people were panicking that all the artists in the UK were going to get fired. And actually, we just worked a way to use it to make a better experience for players. I think, and AI looks like it's here to stay. It's how people use it to make sure, and people themselves will always have to be there to make a great game experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the code of question, it's a case of, instead of you having to go, oh, we're behind schedule, we need to hire more, you go, okay, well, outsource more. And I think in this situation, it's like, we need to get more produced. We're not going to then fire artists and use AI. We're just going to onboard AI with our artists so that we don't need to hire more artists, but you can just potentially get more done quicker. Right, to a degree. You still don't want to replace artists.
Potentially that might be how to do it, or you go to an outsourcing company, you look at there are ways of doing it, because it still makes sure that it feels right and looks right and plays right.
Especially if those outsourced companies use AI themselves, right? And you're outsourcing to them
Exactly.
anyway, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
well,
Totally.
we're just paying for them to use AI.
Yeah, that's one of the debates we've had with Metro Rivals, actually AI for voiceovers.
Mm.
So we're using a company that use original artists but have an AI element in their voiceovers, and it's been a huge debate we've had
Yep.
as to we don't have a huge budget for voiceovers, so we have to use the money really sensibly and get an authentic experience. AI takes us part of the way that, but you need that human element as well.
Yep.
So it is a real balance.
Yeah, I mean, when you sim in audio on a train, actually, do you ever make it really hard to hear, really impossible to hear what they're saying? Because every time I'm on a train, I can never hear what they're saying.
You have to take your headphones out.
Yes.
to hear it.
No, I don't know what it is.
No, audios for Train Sim World fans, audios are huge.
Oh,
part
that's
of
really
getting
rustic.
that right
Yes.
is a huge element. Our team do go to extraordinary
I'm
lengths.
glad to hear it.
Yeah, no,
to
there's some
do that.
people around to US, Germany, UK, Holland. Actually, and they go and record all the sounds of the train
Are they
moving.
Foley artists? They're Foley sound designers?
They're not specifically, they're more generalists.
Okay.
But the Loco team will go with them, so the Loco
love a
artists
Foley.
will go. Well, actually, when we first started the studio up here, there was a whole area that was going to be dedicated to
Nice.
Foley,
I
but
think it's so interesting.
didn't get there.
And then when you find the item that the sound is, it's like, what?
There's a woman on TikTok that shows sort of
Yeah,
the scene.
literally, I've seen it.
Here's what she does, and then here's what the scene is, and you're like, really?
And then you listen to the movie, and you're like, it does sound like that,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah,
Ruins it for you, though.
it's clever, but
It's really
yeah.
clever. Like, to just know, like, oh, I need to make that sound. Oh, I'll just go get a Pringles can
yeah,
and
exactly.
put, beads in it, and that'll make the sound.
Yeah.
Anyway, completely off topic. Back to the industry and maybe like advice to those looking at the industry, right? It is a relatively not positive side on the social media when like the news coming out, etc. But there is a lot of positivity still in studios, like what you said, and other studios and what they're doing, and stealth startups, etc. What is like one of your biggest wins the past 6 months, right? We've done the challenges, but like what's the win? What's the good so far?
I think we've kept going forward.
Yeah.
I really do think that's yes, it can create instability when you change CEOs and actually going to co-CEOs. I think it was important for us to keep us going forward, and I think people were seeing the fact that we're driving that, and actually I would think it's a big win. No one's complaining about us doing the job. So yeah, no one's really. I think people appreciate it. Yes, we get things and people come back to us, but no one really. I think everyone appreciates the job we're doing, and I think that for me is a great win.
Projects in the pipeline, like potential like maybe undisclosed release dates that you've got, like things are coming out, like.
Well, we've announced Train Sim World 6, so that comes out early access for 26th of September, full release on the 30th. Pre-orders out, so people can do that.
Yeah.
And then obviously we have Metro Rivals, will be announced October 15th.
That's announced October 15th.
Announced
Right,
October
so this
15th.
is an NDA technically.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll make sure it goes out
October 15th, and release will be.
And that is such a big thing, because there'll be multiplayer, there'll be Unreal 5.
Yeah,
and
that sounds more up my street as well.
Yeah.
I've never classed myself as a train sim player, but if it's multiplayer, then it can be fun with friends. Then
you're fun playing it, and I think that's what we want to get to. And I do think talk about future sims. People should want to have fun playing it, and then lose themselves in it. Actually, like any game, right? If you can lose yourself in a sim for hours, and that's a great experience.
I played farming sim. I couldn't care for farming itself,
No.
but I played farming sim just because it was fun.
But look at all the licenses they've got. Look at what you can do. You've got training there, right? You look how that's developed over the last Farm Sim 13, when it had some interesting physics. Is probably a good way of putting it. And how that's developed over the years is brilliant.
Yeah, Skyrim had interesting physics. It was a great game. Epic engine. Woo.
So and I think that's Farming Sim's done some brilliant things. Actually.
So there is that kind of hardcore end, trains, farming, flight, through to power wash, goat sim. That really fun end.
Goat sim wasn't really a goat sim, though, was it?
But it's fun. It is
but no one can ever say that's not what a goat would do.
Yeah, this is
So
well.
you know, sat down with a goat and asked him what a goat sim would be. The goat might actually say that's what they'd do.
Oh, I actually did want to go quality structure on the motorway.
Or even bread sim, right? There are so many.
Sim.
There was bread sim.
Yeah, there's
What
a
was
bread.
that? I've
Yeah.
missed that one.
Yeah.
That goes away from the realism. You are very much a moving piece of bread.
Right. Okay.
But that can happen. But once again, it's a great experience.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's what it's got to be about.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I wasn't into farming. I don't farm and sim, couldn't care, but it was just fun.
Yeah.
It was like chill, relaxing, satisfying. But I wouldn't know the singlest thing about a brand of, well, I say a brand of tractor, but I know John Deere because of the game now. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I think probably the interesting thing for us and how we got to get the balance and the blend right as we go forward with train sim. There are train sim fans that love what we do because of the authenticity of the train, and it has to feel right. And I think there's a balance, a spectrum to be found for us to get it where we could all play it and have fun, but I still want that enthusiast to love what they're playing because we recreated that really well.
And what is your like community feedback like in terms of how do you act upon it? Is it very much driven by what your community says? Or, you can't obviously do everything that someone says because what they ask for isn't always what they actually want.
We take their feedback very seriously. You know, we have the forums, and so every route that we look through, we'll go through the forums to see where that's been suggested. We do player surveys. We have weekly sentiment reports. The player feedback into the direction we go is really key for us. We can't. You know, people want what's in their backyard, right? And sometimes we can't, which is why the third party, we have a massive third party program for Train Sim World. We will try and address all the key routes for Train Sim World, and our third party partnership program will help address. So after Train Sim World 7, we'll go to the Czech Republic, Portugal. Japan.
Yeah.
There's
We've talked about
3
India.
more
Let's talk about India. So
what is the geographical spread like? I mean, again, I don't know if you can even say that, but
mainly UK, Germany, US, and it's rest of the world. And it does depend, you know, when we release the Japanese route, we are expecting to see an uplift.
Bullet trains, like that kind of thing.
It's not. It's a Tadami line. It's a really cute, lovely. It's got like
we've done France, we've done Holland. And actually, what Train Sim World is becoming with the third party community, our third party developers, you know, it's becoming a platform in itself. And I think that's important. We never, I don't think 10 years ago, we never anticipated it to have the growth and the way that people play it as well. You know, they buy a load of different routes, a load of different trains. They try and make those trains run on that one route, which makes it challenging on Gen 8. Gen 8's an older platform. But we still try and make it work well so they can have a good experience.
Nice. I love that. I guess we'll move on to like advice for like I said before, coming into the industry. What's like one piece of advice you'd give to someone either looking to get into like a leadership position or even just looking to get into the industry as a whole?
I have some what would probably be seen as really antiquated advice.
Oh, love it. Go ahead.
So when I was going through my CIPD, my qualification, the tutor there, she said, be nice and offer to help. So take the notes, make the tea, just be where other people won't be. And that's, you know, that's what I've always tried to do. I've been in the room, I've taken the notes, I've done all this. Now my feminist hat on goes, I shouldn't be the woman taking the notes, but at a leadership level now I can make sure that that's fairly distributed. But at the time when I was starting my career and wanted that trajectory, I knew I had to go and do more above and beyond my role. So if you're looking to get into leadership, you know, shadow people, ask questions. You have to put yourself out there.
Be present, basically. Be visible.
Yes.
Coming from where I come from, construction industry, I'm not technical. I'm not great on that side of things. I've become slightly more technical. If you want to be a leader and get into leadership, you've got to make sure the team come with you because they're the ones making the experience. They're the ones selling the games. They're the ones doing the submission to Sony, Microsoft. It won't be you. So they've and if you think you can just bully people, shout, it just doesn't work anymore. And I think the industry's evolved, fortunately. And when I first started, as a junior, you used to get shouted at, bullied at. I just don't think that's the right thing. As a leader, you need your team to deliver for you. So you've got to come on the journey with them.
Nice. And what about those maybe not going down the leadership path, just looking to get into industry in general?
I would be remiss if I don't mention Women in Games. So I'm
Yep.
co-director at Women in Games. Fantastic networking community for we're women-led, women-focused, but everybody's welcome.
Yep.
And actually, we encourage men and non-binary to join us as well.
I mean, this wouldn't happen without Fiona on your team as well.
Exactly. This is the only way it grows. I hate to say it because as a huge introvert myself, the thought fills me with dread. You need to network.
Yeah.
You need to get out there, and it's horrible and it's scary, which is why I advocate for the Women in Games community. Join their events because they're really friendly in the way to do it.
And we haven't done that well enough over the years at Dovetail. We've realised we've become very insular because we're friends. We didn't think we need to. And actually,
Do your
I
own little
think
thing in your own little area.
Exactly.
better for actually, it's better for the companies, better for people working, seeing the name Dovetail out there, seeing that actually we're part of the industry, and we're and I know it's a tough period, but it's still an exciting industry. It's still a fun job, right?
It is.
I suppose my personal bugbear is still, you can do an interview sometimes and someone's not played your game.
Yeah.
That frustrates that.
We've had many.
And I totally get it's challenging. And if someone can't, Germany can't afford to buy that game, most companies will probably give you a code. They'll probably, we would. If someone said, look, I've got an interview, can I have a code so I can play the game? We'd do that. Because actually know your subject matter.
Yeah.
I'm amazed the amount of people that don't, and they expect you to hire them. And it is really tough out there at the moment. And if you want that extra bit of edge above someone else, know where you're going. And what do you want out of that company? What can they do for you? Give that little bit, because sadly in some ways you can pick and choose at the moment because of the way the industry is at the moment. And hopefully that will change and it'll get much better where people can choose what the different roles been offered. But play the game you're going to see, or understand the company you're going in to see.
Yeah, I mean, interview prep as a whole is one thing that we always make sure we do before we put a contractor forward. And usually they would always play the game or know of the games and they've watched playthroughs or whatever, right? But yeah, there's sometimes where it's like, no, I've not tried it. And it's like 20 minutes for an interview and you ring them again, like, did you do your prep? No. Why haven't I got it? It's a free-to-play game. Come on, literally just boot it up for at least 10 minutes just to understand a little bit. There's no excuse for that.
Now, I have evolved.
Okay.
Back in the day, I would have stopped the interview there and then. But life has changed. It changed for everyone. And sometimes people just haven't got the opportunity to do that. But I may still bring it up and go, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
I think you're wrong for that. You're wrong for saying.
And I think the advice that gives you that extra little bit above someone else if you've got a lot of candidates. And we do get a lot of candidates now. So that come through for roles. Give yourself that bit of extra edge. Know the company.
Yeah, from my side, again, very much you can do loads. And I think it's kind of what you said on the leadership front, right? Always do more, right? If you're out of a role and you've got free time, maybe spend a little bit less time on just applying for jobs and hoping one sticks and more working on personal projects and anything you can do to get above somebody else, basically. When it comes to like showing your work now, do a time lapse of you sculpting, right?
Yeah.
So many environment artists, my own pet peeve, that just don't show process.
That's it. Well, our previous art director, when I was doing the interviews with him, I would say, what do you look for in a portfolio? He's like, I want to see the process.
Yeah.
And a good garbage bin is where it's all at. And so he would look to go through that whole process with it.
Engineering test isn't about, and I think we have a number of questions like 10, so let's pick 10. I don't care if someone doesn't fill all 10 questions out in an engineering test, but if they do 5, but wow, the thought process and the challenge they come back in that test is really good. That to me is much better.
Yeah, we've had like UI, UX tests where they've not finished it. They said like, no, I spent my 2-hour max. I didn't do over because you could technically lie and do more. And they actually just had like a really in-depth Figma with the research they'd done and the evaluating everything. And they're like, that's where I've stopped. And they're like, well, they ended up hiring them just based on the process, where they were going with it all. They could just see it, how the mind was working. And the honesty as well to just say, well, that was on 2 hours, right? I'm not going to get that task done.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And there is a kind of within the jobs market that balance between setting tasks where they're doing a job
Yes.
and actually having a task to test
Some
skill.
pay now, which is nice.
Yeah.
Not all.
No.
Some do.
But I think you got to do it right.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I guess from those looking in, you can't say too much. What is the test systems like? I don't even know if you know, because you said you're not in the recruitment process. Is it engineering test?
The engineering test, there's art test.
QA
we have a
tests.
QA test.
Yep.
Retail test. So for any on the publishing side, if your role involves presenting information to exec or SLT, we'll do some presentation tests. And even you know, with that before, when I have been involved, it's making sure we're not going to use that data, give fake data. I
Yes.
just want to see the process and how they interpret the data.
And as long as it's not 8 stages, then a test. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No.
And you know what? We had to go through it. You know, we had to go through. We put up in Jaffa and Ahmed to show that we can do the role. So we did something that actually we ask other people to do as well. So we're not, we put ourselves through it to make sure we can do this role well.
Nice. And then one other final, that's not even a difficult question, but maybe you don't have an answer on the spot. Someone considering now building their own studio, which there's a lot of people doing that with redundancy packages, X, Y, and Z reason. What advice would you give to them in regards to scaling and building a studio right now?
Slow and steady.
Yep.
Yeah. Make sure that your business model's sustainable. Don't grow beyond your means. You've got to be able to sustain what you have before taking that next stage.
And what makes you different? What makes you the reason we'd come to you? Yep. I think there is, because there's a lot of companies out there now, and good luck to people becoming consultants, startups, because it is tough. But actually, what's that bit about you that makes you different and your studio different? And it just may be, what you can deliver. You can trust us. What is that thing that a publisher will look at and go, yeah, okay, we'll go with you. And it doesn't always have to be about price. The cheapest doesn't always make it the best to go with. There's a balance to be found, without a doubt. But what makes you that studio we should go with?
Very fair, very fair. And a fun little question. Actually, I never asked this, so I should probably start with this. If it wasn't train sim games, because I don't know what games you play, what other games do you play or would you play?
Oh, good question.
Because I don't know anything about yourself when it comes to games as a whole.
I've turned much more into a mobile person, there is no doubt, and I have played way too many hours of stick cricket at the moment, but that's because of holidays and stuff like that. But my kids beat me at football club too often, so actually we'd be really getting into the Switch to Mario Kart.
Okay,
that's become the family weekend favourite, and even the 7-year-olds really got into it and getting quite competitive about it. But I think games. Now, I play games more to look at it, to see the production values it brings. I think that's important, about the immersion side of things. And then just pick and choose the odd one to play, like Res Evil, Gamescom. Wow. That was pretty cool.
Good. Mine would be theme park. That was where I started. Building theme parks, making theme parks.
Like hiking games and that stuff. Yeah, nice.
But at the moment, actually, I play mainly Roblox with my son.
Really?
So
we
are growing gardens together. Is where we're at. Yes.
That game. Isn't that got Roblox as a whole? There's loads of microtransactions as well, right? And
it's not. No, I don't do that.
Oh, really? No?
So I just buy the seeds for in-game money.
Okay.
Not actual money. Plant them, water them.
I've seen some big gardens that you clearly.
There are some very big gardens.
They've whaled a lot of money into that. But each their own. And Roblox,
we are clearing our calendars for GTA 6 at some point when it comes out.
As a studio or as an individual?
We have discussed what we do. Yeah, what we do around it.
Yeah, because everyone's looking forward to it.
It is like an industry meme at this point. No one's working that week.
Yeah, if anybody says they're not looking forward to it, I'll be amazed, because it will be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I don't think it will flop. I don't think I can allow it to flop. And I don't even think, even if it's terrible, I think people are going to buy it regardless.
It won't be terrible. I think it'll help.
Yes.
There's always something. Doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter what game you play. You can always take something from a game.
Yep.
And even with it's a sim game, you can play any other games. And I've got to a group of friends who got into Call of Duty quite a bit. So, and I know, EA and Battlefield. My wife works there. Everyone's looking forward to that. You can always take something from a game.
Yeah.
I think, why? we end up playing Bluey quite a lot on Game Pass. But it was fun.
You say your wife works in games as well?
She works at EA, yes.
Nice. Okay.
So she used to work at Lego, which
is a happy coincidence that you're just both in games?
no,
because
we met at EA on the odd years ago, so it sort of helped on that side. And then she went to work for Lego, so our kids loved the fact that we was at Lego and video games. But
free Lego? Free Lego?
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
Painful feet everywhere you walked. One piece of advice for your younger self. We'll wrap up there.
I wish I'd have listened to people more. I would tell myself to stop talking, not that I talk too much, and actually listen to people and don't interrupt.
Yeah, I can hold my hand up on that one as well.
I don't do it anymore.
You don't do it as much. No. not now.
Sarcasm there. That is still kind of does it.
Look, we've gone through this whole thing. We're not arguing at all. It's pretty good.
I mean, okay. I'm a bit of a. I'm on the path that I'm on with what I've got. So, other than personal mistakes in life, I wouldn't change anything for my path that I'm on here.
Nice, love that. Yeah, no, I can't say that. I'm same with you. Sometimes I shut up, literally. But no, thank you very much. Any final comments from yourselves regarding Dovetail? Do you want to point anywhere in any directions? I'm sure we'll probably link to your website, careers pages, anything like that as well.
Yeah, my LinkedIn's always open. People are always welcome questions.
People are always scared of connecting with CEOs.
Don't do it.
No,
do it or do it. Don't be scared.
Honestly, please don't connect with me.
That's a really good point, though, right? Because I had a conversation with someone, even at the company I've been working for years, and they said, "I can't talk to you because you're CEO." I'm like, "Well, why not? I'm still the same person, and we're still the same thing." It's like, and it does. That title brings a slight. Don't be scared of that person. That person's still human. That person still is in video games and still wants to have a great chat to you. And we are pretty open like that. Because we want people to be great.
No, love that. And no, thank you very much, everyone.
That's all right.
Thanks for joining the podcast today.